Hi, welcome to the Homebody Witch. I've gotten some new art that has been placed around the home recently. First up, I'd like to share this wonderful Moomin print that I received as a Christmas gift from my honey bunny. So we placed it in the bedroom and I just love it. My honey bunny knows I'm a fan of the Moomins, so it was a really wonderful, thoughtful gift. I'd also like to just show how wonderful these pillowcases are that I got for Christmas last year from my best friend. They made these wonderful pillowcases and I just love them because they really allow me to celebrate the winter season, and I just think they're really adorable and were just such wonderful gifts. The beginning of last week, January 15th, marked Eddie Hillisum's birthday, or what would be Eddie Hillisum's birthday if she was still alive. And it's one of the dates that's marked in my personal Spiritual Almanac. And I wanted to make sure to honor Eddie Hillisum on that day. So I made this really simple icon that I could put on the mantelpiece that I have in the living room slash library. I just printed out a picture that I found on the internet and then used some washi tape to attach it to the back of a piece of cardboard that's really just from from an old cracker box. And then I spent some time that day just going over her book again. It's a book of her diaries that she kept and also letters that she wrote from Westerbork. So I thought I really liked taking the time to recognize a spiritual teacher and mystic on the day of their birthday, sort of making it a saint's day, a saint's feast day in my own way. And I would really recommend doing that if it's something that speaks to you. And then I made my own little spiritual almanac in a little book where I write down the dates that I want to remember for their spiritual significance. And within the book, I also wrote down 2 quotes from Eddie that really spoke to me this year, so that when I, maybe next year or the year after want to look back, I'm able to go back and see which quotes really spoke to me during that year. And so the 2 quotes that I wrote down this year in my spiritual almanac were, first up, ultimately, we have just one moral duty: to reclaim large areas of peace in ourselves, more and more peace, and to reflect it toward others. And the other quote that I wrote in the Spiritual Almanac was, there is no hidden poet in me, just a little piece of God that might grow into poetry. So I added those into my book, and then I just found myself throughout the day reflecting on the quotes, and as the week went on, they really just stayed with me, and they were sort of anchors to go back to for reflection during the week. Back to some of the fun art that has recently been added. We received these 2 prints that I'll share a link down to the Etsy shop below. The name escapes me at the moment, but I follow the artist on Instagram, and they said that they had updated their shop and they were having, they were going to be going on holiday soon, so the shop was only open for a bit. And I've been admiring the artist's work for a while and decided to snatch up a couple of the prints. And I got this wonderful mouse Arthur pulling out the sword in the stone. And then the other one is of a little chipmunk with holding a leaf as an umbrella. And my honey bunny and I like to think of that chipmunk as Percival from the Arthur tale. So we have Arthur and Percival, who's sometimes depicted as a holy fool. So that's how I think of Percival on the wall. And I really love how the space is coming together for moving, transitioning soon from winter to spring. It's hard to take down the Christmas decorations for me, the Yuletide season, and having these prints to put up made it cheery this year. So now we have the green man at the very top, and down below in the middle of the mantelpiece is the Father Winter figure that's like carved into the mantelpiece. And then we have Arthur with the sword in the stone, and then our Percival. So I just find it a really delightful to look at, and it makes me happy whenever I enter the space. So some of the books that I've been reading recently are due to the arrival of the art prints. I've returned to reading T.H. White's take of the Arthur legend in The Once and Future King. I previously had read the first two books within the giant book, which is The Sword in the Stone and The Witch in the Woods, and I'm now on to the third book, which is The Ill-Made Knight, I believe was the name. Yes, so on the third book, The Ill-Made Knight, and I'm really enjoying this book, and I think it's a good one that you can pick up and put down because it is a collection of different books. It's telling, again, T.H. White's playing with the tale of Arthur, the myth and legend of Arthur. So I'm enjoying reading that and thought it was the perfect time to pick it up again since I had the art prints. I also am rereading Twyla Thorpe's The Creative Habit. I actually took this out from the library. I read this book a few years back, at least 5 years ago, maybe even more, and it's just a really interesting examination of creating a creative habit in your life from someone who is a well-regarded, well-known contemporary modern dance choreographer and dancer. So I remember really liking the book some years ago, and I'm just revisiting it because I've been really thinking a lot about what is art, that big question, especially with this rise of AI created content, and what makes art different when it's made by humans, like what part of the soul is within art. So I've been reading some various books that sort of look at that wide question, and remembered that there was this book about the creative habit, so I decided to pick it up and start reading it again. And lastly, I just got this book of the complete works of Hadowich. I think that's how you pronounce her name, and she was a early 13th century mystic, and it's a collection of her work which is broken into 3 parts. There is first the letters that they have that she wrote, then her poetry, and lastly her visions. I'm still in the part of the book that has her letters, and I'm finding it really fascinating, and I love to read the works of mystics. So a bit of a mix of books that I'm reading right now as we're sort of in that real midwinter phase. And I have one last art print to share, and it is again by the same artist who did the mouse Arthur and the little chipmunk. And I looked it up, and the store is called Rivulet Paper Store on Etsy. But I'll share the link down below so you can check out the artist's work because it's really wonderful. And the last bit I got is a small art print of the Lady of the Lake with her hand reaching out through the lake with the Excalibur sword that Arthur then gets from the stone. And we put it in a nice wood frame, and I just really love it. We have it on the wall that's like where the stairs are, but we might move it, haven't decided, but it's there for now. So that was some of the new art that's now gracing the Homebody Witch's home, and some of the books currently reading while cozying in during this winter season. Thanks so much for spending time with the Homebody Witch. Bye!